electricity and magnetism, a very important name. Hans Christian Oyster, the compass needle is nowhere in contact with the wire. A rule called Ampere's swimming rule. Hello students, a new chapter, a new zeal, new energy, a whole lot of new things that will be learned. This is SD Sir taking you all on a float to the world of magnetism. Dear students, we start up a new chapter, a new session. We discuss moving charges and magnetism. A very beautiful thought, a beautiful caption, moving charges and magnetism. What did you learn in the master chapter? Moving charges. What did moving charges constitute? Yes, electric current. So this I can also interpret as electric current and magnetism. So very beautifully, the entire chapter is to coalesce, amalgamate the concepts of electricity with the concepts of magnetism. Therefore, we entitle this chapter as Moving Charges and Magnetism. What do I study in this entire chapter? It is only to coagulate the principles of electricity with the principles of magnetism, to show that electric current and magnetism is one and a unified entity. To understand how the concepts of electric current can be merged with the concepts of magnetism. At the end of the day, once I study this chapter, I will be very comfortable saying that, friends, electric current and magnetism are one and the same. They are unified, their principles are combined. Therefore, we say moving charges and magnetism. Session 1, we will have a brief introduction as to how this concept came into picture. The person behind this artwork, Hans Christian Oyster. We will learn Oyster's experiment and a few conclusions on Oyster's experiment. Without getting delayed, we start introducing ourselves to the chapter. Now students, earlier to 1820, prior to 1820, people believed that electricity and magnetism are two completely different domains. People thought electric current is a separate entity. Magnetism is something which is very unique. They believed under no conditions electricity and magnetism can be combined. They believed there was no chance for unifying the principles of electricity and magnetism. So they were very strong, very conclusive on saying, no boss, electricity is something out of the domain of magnetism. Magnetism, something which cannot be related to electricity. So they clearly told electricity is something unique and magnetism is something unique. So ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ 1820ಕ್ಕೂ ಮುಂಚೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಾದರೂ ಸರಿ, ಜನರಾದರೂ ಸರಿ, ಏನು ನಂಬಿದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿನೇ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮೇ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ in 1820 a Danish physicist by name Hans Christian Ørsted, a very important name, Hans Christian Ørsted, showed that whenever electric current passes through a conductor, please to follow this statement very clearly, whenever electric current flows through any conductor, a magnetic field is created around that conductor. You will study this experiment very clearly next. Ørsted says, you consider any shape of the conductor. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ವೈರ್, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. ವೆನೆವರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಎನಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್, a magnetic field is created around the conductor, and it's vice versa. Vice versa andre, if there is a magnetic field around the conductor, there has to be current flowing through the conductor. And they call this as magnetic effect of electric current. So, what was Ørsted thought? You have a conductor, it may be of any shape, it may be a straight wire, it may be a circular conductor. The moment current flows through that conductor, there has to be magnetic field created around the conductor. And if there is magnetic field around the conductor, there has to be an electric current. See the imperialism here. If there is current, if there is moving charges, there has to be magnetic field. If there is magnetic field, there has to be current. And further, as Ørsted gave his thought, there were people who were trying to verify it experimentally. So experiments of Ampere, Faraday, Maxwell supported Ørsted's thought. Further, Lenz experiment, Lenz law was a very strong support to Oester's concept. Now, this led to the unification of the principles of electricity and magnetism. Oester's thought or Oester's concept clearly showed no boss. Now, for no reason, electric current is a separate domain. Magnetism is a separate domain. Not at all possible. Their concepts are actually unified. They have direct impact on each other. And this unification developed a new field called electromagnetism. So, you have to understand, friends, it was the thought, the concept given by Hans Christian Oersted about magnetic effect, which beautifully led to the unification of electricity and magnetism. And this unification gives us a very new domain, a very new impactful field of physics called electromagnetism. So, to summarize here, before 1820, people had no idea about the unification of electricity and magnetism. But it was Oersted, Hans Christian Oersted, who will put his foot strong and say, if there is electric field or if electric current flows through a conductor, there has to be a magnetic field around it. If there is a magnetic field, there has to be current flowing through the conductor. So this unification, combining of the principles of electricity and magnetism leads to something called as electromagnetic theory. Now, people did not blindly accept Oester's concept about electromagnetism. People wanted an experimental proof. People experimentally wanted to know how electricity is a direct impact of magnetic field, for which we learn Oester's experiment to confirm something called magnetic effect. If you observe the diagram on the board, AB is a straight wire. So I have a wire AB. This is the exact circuit form, some wire, what diametrically I have represented as AB. And a compass needle is placed below the wire. If my palm is considered to be the wire, a magnetic compass needle is placed below it. So, a magnetic compass needle is placed below the wire. The significance is the compass needle is nowhere in contact with the wire. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, the magnetic compass needle is not physically in contact with that wire. Simply there is a wire. Below the wire, I have placed a magnetic compass needle. Further, the wire is connected to a variable resistor and a battery. Now what happens is, very surprisingly, we switch on the source. Oyster switched on the battery. There was some current that was flowing through the circuit. To be very precise, there was some current which was flowing through the wire. But very astonishingly, immediately the magnetic compass needle showed some deflection. Very surprising. Current is flowing through this straight wire. Nowhere the compass needle is in contact with the wire. But the moment current was flowing, there was some deflections observed in the needle. This made Oyster to think, if there is deflections in the compass needle, there has to be a magnetic field around it. Who has created the magnetic field? There is no other quantity except current flowing. And this current flowing through the wire has created a magnetic field around the wire, because of which the magnetic compass needle has deflected. Very beautiful. See, observe, there was some current flowing through the circuit. The moment battery was switched on, it meant that there is some current flowing through the straight wire AB. The moment this happened, the compass needle started deflecting. My God, there has to be a magnetic field then. Who has created that magnetic field? There is only current in the circuit. So the current flowing through the wire created a magnetic field in the surrounding region, because of which compass deflected. Very beautiful. Now they changed the polarity, reversed the polarity. This was connected to the negative and the negative was interchanged. Current started flowing in the reverse direction. Again, the deflections in the compass needle was opposite to the initial case. So Oyster was filled with zeal and he told, yes, current which is flowing through the wire is creating a magnetic field, and this magnetic field is responsible for the deflections of the needle. And he proclaimed, yes, there is some magnetic effect of electric current. The impact of electric current creating a magnetic field is shown, is proved through the deflections of the compass needle. Now what he did, he needed an additional justification. He simply increased the strength of the current. Probably from 2 amperes, he changed it to 3 amperes. He has increased the strength of the current. The deflections in the needle was more. Again he told, my God, the strength of the current in the wire has increased, which has increased the strength of the magnetic field around it. And because the strength of the magnetic field has increased, there are more deflections. He reduced the current to 1 ampere. He decreased the strength. Deflections reduced. Why? Magnetic field strength reduced. All these things made Oyster to believe firmly whenever current was flowing through a conductor, there has to be a magnetic field around the conductor, or the impact of current is creating the magnetic field whose consequences can be seen through the deflection of the needle. Now I told, when current is flowing through a conductor, there is some deflections in the compass needle. Now, how do I understand in which direction the needle is getting deflected? For which I will follow a law, for which I have put up a convention. ಮತ್ ಪುನಃ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಹೀಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಆಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So by convention, we have developed Ampere's swimming rule, a rule called Ampere's swimming rule, which gives the direction of the deflection of the needle, which is placed in a magnetic field. Most of us swim. If we swim, yes, the rule is better understood. The rule says, see, AB is a conductor which is carrying a current I in this direction. So I have a conductor AB which is carrying a current I in this direction. And the magnetic needle is placed below this conductor carrying current. So this is the north pole of the needle, the south pole of the needle. Now the rule says, if a swimmer swims along a conductor in the direction of current, I assume there is a swimmer who is swimming along the conductor in the same direction of current. The swimmer swims in the same direction of current flowing in the conductor, facing a compass needle. If this happens, then the north pole of the needle is deflected towards the left of the swimmer. This is only a convention. If the swimmer is swimming in the same direction of current, then the north pole is deflected towards the left of the swimmer. If I have a case where the swimmer is swimming opposite to the direction, then the north pole deflects towards the right of the swimmer. So very clearly, Ampere's swimming rule. What is Ampere's swimming rule? Conventionally giving me direction of the deflection of a compass needle, where it says, if a swimmer swims along the conductor in the same direction of current, then the north pole of a needle below the conductor is deflected towards his left. So my students, in this introduction class, we clearly understood what is magnetic effect of electric current. I repeat, if at all there is current flowing through a conductor, there has to be a magnetic field. And if at all there is a magnetic field, there has to be current, whose impacts unified together gives me electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic wave theory. We understood Oersted experiment, which experimentally justified the concept. And finally, we understood which direction the needle gets deflected through Ampere's swimming rule. So before I come to the next session, very important there, introduction has to be carried on. Have a glance, study the introduction thoroughly, and we meet each other in session 2. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.